This is Kevin. He's a smiling face behind the counter when I come into Cleggs machine shop. A lot of people have asked me, why didn't you do the valves on the head instead of taking it in the machine shop? And the reason why is that if you get somebody who does the same thing, and if they're really specialized, especially if they have the right equipment, it can save you a lot of headache in having to do a head twice. You've got investment in a head gasket set, etc. So I take it to guys like Earl here, who deck the head for me and get it all perfect. As you can see, this cylinder head's being done right now. You can see where the cuts are made. You can see that it's really shiny here, but not across some of these other places, and that shows an indicator that it's warped. Go ahead, Kevin.
This head also had a seat ring right here that came out, right. So we've cut a new one in, and we've had to do a little bit of welding, and it's in the rough stages. You won't be able to tell when it's done. This cylinder head's off a Jeep Liberty that has a problem with part of the head falling out.
Right. Now tell me this. Now say somebody this had a head gasket leak, I would assume. You know, antifreeze and oil mixing, poor compression with a leak on that valve seat. What would happen if the customer would have pulled the head and just done a head gasket and thrown it back in?
He'd be pulling it right back off in about 10 minutes, and there'd be a few other choice words that go along.
It can be really frustrating, so that's one of the reasons I really like to bring my stuff into Cleggs and have them do it.
I'm Roger, and I'm the engine builder here at Cleggs, and every year we do a demonstration build at the car show at Thanksgiving Point, and I'm the unofficial world record holder for engine assembly. Last year we did this engine in 18 minutes and 15 seconds on a stand in front of the crowd without power tools.
No, wait a minute.
Up and running.
Now you're saying you built this engine in how much time?
Complete. 18 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's fantastic. That's phenomenal.
NASCAR guys do it in 19 minutes. So we are the unofficial world record holders.
Now, Roger, you're telling me you are faster, you are more proficient than the NASCAR builders.
They do it in 19 minutes. I did it in 18:15.
That's awesome.
It's on film in front of a crowd of 200 people.
Under pressure, under the gun, you did it that fast.
Yeah, we did it under the gun.
That's fantastic.
And we're back again. Brian kind of caught us at a downtime when there's different pieces of machinery that aren't getting used right now, but he wanted to show this is actually a cylinder head pressure tester, and we're just changing the chemical in here because it was getting a little old and stinky. So normally this is going to be filled with a liquid.
Now what does this machine do exactly?
Well, what we're trying to determine is if a head is good or not, and the only way to simulate that is to put it under pressure, and then we actually submerge it in water. We block off all the holes, and then if we see any bubbles, we know that the cylinder head itself is actually cracked and therefore no good. And so this is a
now tell me about aluminum and when it's cracked and how easy it is to find a crack in aluminum.
It's impossible, and that's why you've got to have a machine like this. On cast iron you can put Magnaflux in it, and that'll find the crack, but this is the only way is to submerge it in the water and then find the bubbles. If it passes this part of the stage, then we know the head is 100% good and we can certify it.
Cool. Now I don't know if you guys have any experience with Fig Newton cookies, but when you have a Fig Newton and you break it in half, you can actually take it and put it back together to where you can't even see where the break is. Aluminum has that same tendency because the finish on aluminum is, you know, somewhat flat of a finish. It's not very glossy. It doesn't really reveal when there's a crack very well due to the porous nature of it. So if you have something like this, it's really nice to be able to know for sure that everything's going to seal. And that way you know that the head that you put on is going to be an efficient head. It's not going to have any OBD2 codes, you know, for any type of a misfire or any mysterious kind of a problem like that. So this is one of the main attractions why I really like to bring my valve jobs down here as opposed to doing them myself. That, and they're just efficient. You got guys that work here that have been doing it for years, and they can knock it out quick for you, and that way I'm free to be able to do other things in the shop.
Okay, we're back with another cylinder head. This head right here we've got is a Chevy Aveo, and what happened is they lost the timing belt. Maybe we can show some valves in a minute. So we're just getting ready to machine this, but down here you'll see valve guides, and when the timing belt broke, it broke all the valve guides down inside. So we just put in the new valve guides, and then we'll start machining the seats right around here and putting in the new valves.
Now what happens if you miss something like a bad valve guide if you're doing a rebuild on a head?
Well, then the cylinder head's going to have to come back off because the valve guide, if it's bent or loose, can either burn oil or or the valve's still going to be bent.
You're going to notice some problems, aren't you?
Yeah, you're going to have some compression problems. So. Okay, while we're having fun, we figure we'll show you what goes on when you actually bore a block. This is an older Ford right here, and it's got a lot of wear down here in the cylinders. And so what we're doing is we're roughly removing about 25 thousandths cut of material out of the block. And then once we're done with that, and we've got all the material of the wear cut out of the block, we'll go into this next machine right here, which is a honing machine. And then this will cut the last few thousandths out and put the correct finish for the new pistons. And so this is a boring machine, and this is the honing machine that puts the final finish on.
So this is the party machine. This is where all the action's at. And this one, you call that, what was it?
That's the workhorse.
It's a boring machine.
Boring machine. Pretty boring, man.
Doesn't look too boring. It looks pretty exciting to me. Looks like we just finished on that one.
So now they'll go to the next cylinder.
Go ahead. Raise it up.
Another bolt. So what are you doing there, Sebastian?
So here, what we're doing is he's putting the ring gear onto the flywheel before machining it. We've been working on it with the torch and getting it hot. As you know, when things are heated, they expand, and you have to expand. They're not held on by any screws or bolts or any type of fastener or epoxy. It's all by heat. You heat it up, you get it to a big size, and then tap it on, and then it shrinks. It cools down onto it.
He's one of the best flywheel ring gear installers in the world. He's all the way from Argentina.
He came all the way from Argentina to do this. Way to go. Another nice thing about bringing in your cylinder heads is being able to put it in the cleaner. You put it in a cleaner and it'll come in just looking horrible. And then once it comes out, it'll look like these over here. You know, this could have been from anything, and run it through the cleaner. It looks like brand new. Here's another intake manifold from a V8. So you bring it in, it looks like this. Throw it in the cleaner, it comes out looking like that. So here we have the machine that we use to resurface a flywheel. When a flywheel's in service, oftentimes toward the end of the clutch life, the clutch will start to slip. As that clutch slips, you'll get a lot of wear, a lot of friction, and it can warp the surface and create an uneven feel as you go to let the clutch out. So with this machine, you can resurface it so you get a really nice feel on your clutch and also better life. You get better hookup. So you can see he's getting it ready, he's getting all the filings off, getting everything perfectly flat so that it'll machine properly. When we look at the surface of this, we can see a little bit of heat scarring through here, so that's going to take care of all of that, so you have a nice smooth surface. It's a lot like machining your brake rotors. If you have a warped rotor or something, it can create a vibration, make your steering wheel shake. With this particular example, if you have a rough surface, it can cause a lot of just uneven feel and uneven hookup as you let the clutch out. A machine like this, you can get a very precise amount removed. You get a really fine cut. As you know, on a flywheel, you'll have all kinds of alignment dowels and things that help to align the pressure plate when you bolt it up. So those all have to be removed in order to get a good cut on this. It really does take a lot of skill and practice to be able to do this properly. That liquid that you see going on there, that helps to keep the debris out, and it also helps with cooling. See the finish start to come through? So basically, this is like a beauty salon for flywheels. They come in looking all nasty, and they go out looking like they're brand new. You can see where there's a little bit of warping. See how that dark ring comes around every so often? So if this were installed without having this done, what you'd have is you'd have that low spot. So you'd cause a little bit of a hop in the pedal as you let out. That had a pretty deep groove to it. What do you think? Did the customer make the right move bringing this in to get it machined?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So it's all finished, perfectly flat, nice, even, uniform surface. Go ahead and pull it out. See, everything's very controlled, very tight, and very precise. So it's got to come up slowly. So there's a lot of care and consideration that goes into doing this and having this turn out right. Like you saw as he rinsed it off at the beginning, if there were any shavings or anything that had settled upon that and caused it to sit at an angle, then the machining wouldn't be quite right on it. So everything has to be just right. The surface of that has to be right that it sits on, as well as you know, the machining surface. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Could eat off of that. So here's the cylinder head that we're working on. So here's the cylinder head right here as it's come out of the cleaner. You can see all the valves have been removed before going into the cleaning process. But when you look at this head, if you were to compare this side by side with one that's brand new at a much higher cost, you'd have trouble finding any difference between the two. And especially once it's been all done properly and nice and tight, you won't see a difference. Okay, so I'm going to put a link in the description below, and if you click on the link, here's what you'll find.
Well, one of the other services we provide down here is, with all of our years of experience machining, parts always go along with anytime you're fixing a car. So anything internal engines, meaning gaskets, pistons, rings, bearings, we can always save you money over going to like a local parts store. We've gotten so proficient and good at it that we've actually added a website where people can click on it and they can order anything internal for any engine out there, anything that we don't have here. We have such good resources that we can actually source it for you cheaper than you can find it. And so if you click on that link, you can search your car by year, make, and model, and any parts you're looking for, we can assist you with, and we have the best prices on the internet. Another thing too is if you don't find something on there that you need, you can give us a call. We can always find it. If we can't find it, it doesn't exist.